What's up, Diddy crew? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It's your boy 24 pounds in this bit. Giannis trade is apparently happening. He should come to a team like the Clippers. Who we give up? We got Kawhi and Harden and Zubac. Keep them three. Everybody else free game. Go get Giannis.
All right, the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade feels like it's going to be happening sooner than we think. Shams Charania of ESPN reported that Giannis and his agent have started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the two-time MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere, and a resolution is expected in the coming weeks. We know that Giannis actually requested a trade in the offseason, but he had a very short list, and the Bucks were like, we don't really need to trade, and you're under contract for the next 2 seasons. Now, Brian Windhorst of ESPN also basically just said on a radio show that Giannis has already requested a trade, and it felt like some rumblings were happening. Giannis scrubbed his social media after their really embarrassing loss to the Washington Wizards. They ended up losing 129-126 a couple days ago, and the Bucks this year do not really look like they're going to contend for an NBA title. We know that Giannis wants to win an NBA title and recapture the season he had with the Bucks back in 2021. This year overall, the Bucks are currently 18th in net rating, 21st in defensive rating, and 16th overall in offensive rating. Giannis has missed some time this year, and in the games he didn't end up playing, they lost to the Charlotte Hornets by 11, they lost to Philadelphia by 9 in overtime, they lost by 13 to Detroit, they lost by 12 to Portland, 3 to Miami. They were able to beat Golden State earlier in the year by 10 when Giannis missed a game in which Ryan Rollins kind of saved them. But yeah, 1-5 without Giannis, and they're about 500 with Giannis this year. They've made a massive risk in the offseason, waiving and stretching Damian Lillard to go out and sign Miles Turner, who could have helped them this year. Damian Lillard was not going to be able to help them as he was going to be out for the year. They've gotten some nice seasons out of Ryan Rollins and AJ Green, 2 guys that Milwaukee has developed over the last year or so. But when you look at the landscape of the Eastern Conference, especially after just losing to the Washington Wizards, I don't think anybody would confidently say Milwaukee could beat Detroit, New York, Cleveland, Orlando, Atlanta, Miami, or any of these teams in the Eastern Conference, and let alone any of the teams in the Western Conference, if the small chance they ended up making it to the NBA Finals. And we were just going to get to this point eventually, right? Giannis said that he wants to compete in Milwaukee, he wants to win in Milwaukee, but now that this team is under 500, I feel like we were just hitting that inevitable point where Giannis was going to eventually request a trade. He has a player option for the 2028 season. Next year was going to be the last full guaranteed year of Giannis in Milwaukee. He had an October of 2026 extension deadline, and we all knew if Giannis did not sign an extension with Milwaukee next year, they had to trade him. And now if you trade him today, you will get way more than if you traded him in a year from now, because a team would get Giannis for 2 playoff runs rather than just 1 playoff run, and that could net you back a really good player or a couple more first-round picks. And I think it's going to be fascinating to look at the teams that would actually go out and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Everybody's going to bring up the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 21-1. I don't think this would end up happening. They just won an NBA title. They are by far and away the best team in the NBA right now. I think if another team went out and traded for Giannis, maybe OKC would make a corresponding move, but you're 21-1. This team is on pace to break the 2016 Warriors 73-9.
Y'all know what I think? Season. I really think Giannis is finna go to a team like the Warriors or the Clippers. It's either one of them. Warriors or the Clippers, maybe. And this means extremely large, maybe. Trade De'Aaron Fox to go get Giannis for the Spurs.
Record. Maybe this could transpire in the offseason if the pick that's currently the LA Clippers' top 5 projected pick, along with maybe Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, some of those guys for Giannis. Maybe you can talk yourself into it because you're not trading away Chet or J-Dub. I don't think it ends up happening in OKC. The Houston Rockets went out and traded for Kevin Durant in the offseason. This would also be a tough one to figure out. You would have to trade a ton of your depth, including Dorian Finney-Smith, Fred VanVleet, who's not playing this year, some nice draft capital that you own from the Phoenix Suns or the Brooklyn Nets, and then you'd most likely have to move a couple of Jabari Smith Jr., Reed Shepard, and Jabari Smith Jr. They can get it done financially because Amen Thompson is still under his rookie deal. Alperen Şengün got way below the rookie max extension that he could have gotten, and Kevin Durant also saved the Houston Rockets a ton of money in the offseason when he signed a contract extension about $30 million less over 2 years that he could have originally gotten by Houston. So I would definitely keep an eye on the Rockets. They could could put out some type of lineup of Amen Thompson, Şengün, Kevin Durant, and Alperen Şengün. Now you really run into some floor spacing issues there. This would be a really interesting time for San Antonio to say, you know what, this may be the healthiest Wemby could ever be in his career. With him at his gigantic size, maybe we worry about some injury concerns long term, and you may not get another bang for your buck like this ever again of Wemby playing at a top 5 level under this rookie contract. So you could trade away some guys to pair up Giannis with Wemby, De'Aaron Fox. I'd assume you'd have to part ways with one of Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle. I think Harper's got a better long-term ceiling, and Castle can help out Milwaukee right now. I think...
No. I say, if you got to do it, if you're San Antonio, trade Harrison Barnes, De'Aaron Fox, Jeremy Socan, couple picks, Luke Cornett, for Giannis. You got you a nice deal right there, bro. No cap.
Keldon Johnson, Julian Champagnie, Jeremy Sohan, maybe Devin Vassell could be in that trade as well. And the Spurs have some draft capital to work with here.
Bro,
they don't have some.
You gotta keep Vassell or Castle, bro, and Harper. You gotta keep them three, bro. They played. Have you seen them three play together, Mr. SROS? Have you?
Draft picks on paper, but it could be appealing to get a nice quantity back if you're Milwaukee. And yeah, imagine a front court of Victor Wembanyama and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're not scoring on those two, and then you'd have De'Aaron Fox and one of Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle in the backcourt. Maybe you're able to keep Devin Vassell in all of this, and that could be a formidable five that can go toe-to-toe with OKC in the playoffs. I don't think Denver would have nearly enough assets to get this type of deal done. Phoenix, I don't think would have the assets. People are always going to bring up Golden State and the LA Lakers. I don't think either of those two teams have an appealing package. The Lakers would have to send Austin Reeves, in my opinion, to Milwaukee, and they're not doing that right now. As for Golden State, you would have to part ways with one of Jimmy Butler or Draymond Green. I don't really think that's an appealing return for the Milwaukee Bucks going where they are in their rebuild if they trade away Giannis. Because remember, Milwaukee doesn't own any.
You're interrupting the reaction video
till 2031, so they don't really have an incentive to tank going forward since they don't own their draft picks. So they want NBA-ready players coming back.
Stop inviting me.
And if you look into the Eastern Conference,
I'm
I
not
don't think the
playing
Detroit
right
Pistons
now.
would make a move for him,
Gonna have to
let
block
alone like
you,
the
bro.
Bucks trading him within the division. I don't think the Toronto Raptors would get something done unless they wanted to trade away Scotty Barnes. That's not happening at this point, in my opinion. Miami is interesting because they have about $25 million of Terry Rozier's money.
Bro, I have to wait till Blizzy's done inviting me, bro. Told you when I'm gonna join the game, bastard.
Which is expiring, which can help facilitate this deal. You'd have to part ways with Tyler Hero, in my opinion, and probably Khalil Ware as well. And any type of draft pick.
Bro, he's not going to the Heat, fam.
Your possession. The Knicks are going to get brought up as...
Stop, Blitz. I'm finna have to block you off of Xbox, bro. You invite me again, I'm blocking you, bro.
As well.
Dead ass.
They're going to be brought up with Karl Anthony Towns to maybe go out and get Giannis. Now, maybe if the Bucks knew they could land a top pick in the draft because they do have a swap.
No way he goes to the fucking Timberwolves. Fuck no. You stupid?
With New Orleans. So say, in a reality, the Pelicans get pick 1, the Bucks get pick 3. The Bucks get pick 3 in the NBA draft. It's a swap worst with the Pelicans pick that's in possession of Atlanta. So yeah, maybe you can have a young guy to build around. You would want a Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns to help you not tank and be competitive in the Eastern Conference. I just think there's teams that can offer more appealing packages and a better young player and better draft capital because the Knicks can really just offer swaps at this point. Orlando, they could theoretically get some type of deal done here. I don't think they would trade away Paolo Banchero for Giannis. I don't think they would trade away Franz Wagner for Giannis. Atlanta is probably the most intriguing team to me in the Eastern Conference because they have that swap best with Milwaukee and New Orleans. So if one of those teams gets the number 1 pick, that's going to Atlanta. They have Trae Young on their roster, but with the emergence of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I think they would be okay trading away Zachary Reese-Shea. I think they would trade away either one of Kristaps Porzingis.
I didn't even think about that. Imagine this. You trade Zach Rotisserie. You trade... Who else did the Hawks even have, bro? The Hawks don't have nobody to even trade. That'd be fire, though.
Onyeka Okongwu, they would trade away Zachary Risachet, the #1 pick in the 2024 draft. I think they'd be able to keep Jalen Johnson. Obviously, that's the guy that can get this deal done. But what if you led with a package that was like Asa Newell, Onyeka Okongwu, Zachary Risachet, and Dyson Daniels, and you can get some draft capital to Milwaukee? I think that's a really appealing return for the Bucks, and the Hawks can roll out a lineup of Trae Young at the 1, Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the 2, Jalen Johnson at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and then one
Blitz, you're done for, bro. You don't invite me 20 fucking times. Gotta fucking block me. Oh, no, man. I don't even gotta block you. I can mute you. There we go.
Kristaps Porzingis or Onyeka Okongwu at the 5. That is definitely a team that can go all the way in the Eastern Conference this year. I will say, keep an eye on the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know how aggressive they want to be in a Giannis trade, but they definitely have the assets to go out and get him.
Miles Turner needs to get out of there too. He's
Philly
a
doesn't, because I don't think
When
Milwaukee
the last
wants
time I
that
seen
Embiid
Miles Turner grab 5 rebounds? Exactly.
or Paul George contract. Chicago, I'm sure, will make some type of offer for Giannis, or at least make a phone call. I just don't think they have the capital. Also, them trading Giannis within the division. Brooklyn could maybe happen in the offseason. I don't really think it makes a lot of sense for them to trade for Giannis in season. And also the Pacers would be cool as well, but you would really need to land like the #1 overall pick this to happen in the offseason, and the Bucks to be okay trading him within the division. And this storyline is not going away. I feel bad for Bucks fans because I'm sure they're just tired of this, right? They go out and trade for Damian Lillard in 2023, it doesn't work out. Last year they trade for Kuzma, doesn't work out. They wave and stretch Damian Lillard for Miles Turner. I guess right now it's not really working out. This team can be competitive at times, and it's still a weak Eastern Conference.
Bro,
I think there's a chance Milwaukee
Kuzma,
could
bro.
theoretically win a playoff series if they got the right matchup in round #1. But Giannis is just kind of looking at this team the same way we're looking at it. I'm not really taking them seriously as a title contender. I think the East looks a little bit better than what we thought at the beginning of the year. I think Detroit, Toronto, Miami are a lot better than expected. Boston as well. And they may even get back Jason Tatum this year. So we might actually be heading towards a path where Giannis Antetokounmpo could get traded at the deadline. Last year, we saw Luka Doncic get traded in the beginning of February. What if that happens with Giannis and we get back-to-back years of top 5 players in the sport getting traded? So yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about this situation right now. I just feel like it's inevitable at this point because I don't think Milwaukee, with their lack of draft capital, they're kind of non-existent young core, and where they stand in the Eastern Conference, they're really not going to be a team that can compete for a title within the next 2 years with Giannis Antetokounmpo on their roster. So let me know your favorite Giannis Antetokounmpo fit down below in the comments. Drop
As I
thumbs up if you
said,
guys
I
enjoyed.
think it's the Spurs, Warriors, Clippers. But he gave me another idea, the Hawks. It's them for surely. For surely. For surely, for surely, for surely, for surely. I don't know how we put back the ass on we on ass like white on rice.
There.
This might be the next video, y'all. Who knows? Secret. But hope y'all did enjoy. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know how it goes? Yeah.